Morning, everyone. Welcome you all to this session related to studies in Europe, specifically related to TU Delft, a top-notch university in Netherlands. Along with me, I welcome Sachin Srivastav, sir, who heads LM Global Studies Division with me. I also welcome on board Mr. VATSAL GUPTA. He has been an AGSD student, and right now he is studying in third year at TU Delft, pursuing aerospace engineering as his major there. So we'll have a lot of questions in this session. We'll get all the questions and answers from Vatsal, and feel free to ask your questions from Vatsal through chat. We'll call those names out who is asking those questions, and then we'll move ahead. Now, before we move ahead with the question and answer session, I'm sure that most of the attendees, the participants who are there in this webinar, they have an idea about what foreign education is.
I think there's some technical issue at the poster end. So it's okay. It's technology. It can deceive you anytime. Until Apur sir comes back, we can continue. So today's seminar, as you know, is about advantage of foreign education. We have Vatsal with us. So just give me 1 minute. I'm going to share my screen with you people. And it's about advantages of foreign education. Well, see, most probably know what are the advantages of foreign education. Sir, you are back?
Yes, light went out, so my speed of internet might not be that good. So technical glitches are always there. Always there.
Yes. So you can continue, sir.
Okay. You have opened the PPT, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So I was talking about what are the opportunities there in see the preferred destination for most of the students who want to study abroad is first is US and second is Europe. But then this also depends on personal preference of students. We have seen students going to US and then moving on to UK or Europe and vice versa. A lot of things. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are. Yes, sir.
Okay. Some of the students are saying I'm not audible. Not sure.
No. Okay, yeah, you are audible.
Okay, fine. So a lot of students have their preferences in terms of US versus UK versus Singapore, Australia, etc. Every country, every destination has its own pros and cons. The most important decision that students and their parents need to make is whether they want to study abroad at all. It's not necessary. They have to plan things out well in advance. Again, second question that comes to the parents' minds is whether we should move ahead after class 12 or after a bachelor's or after master's. So these are important questions that parents need to tackle care of before they start with the journey of abroad education. So at all the levels, there are certain advantages. So can you just go to next slide? There are different advantages of moving abroad, whether you move ahead after 12th.
Yes.
Bachelor's. Can I? Cannot. I cannot change the slide. Sir, can you just move on to the next slide?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So, see, there is a difference in education system between India and US per se. Okay, so what happens is in Indian context, we are more driven by specific exams that we give. It might be related to STEM or non-STEM both, IIT, JEE or NEET for that matter. These are the most important exams that we give in India. And these are academically driven, which means if we perform well in these examinations at one go, we are given that specific college based on our rank, which is the outcome of that examination. And we have to pursue our bachelor's in that particular stream only. Nobody asks us this question whether you want this stream or not, whether you like this stream or not. Nobody asks this question, what do you want as a student? We have a typical rat race wherein everybody in India wants to pursue CS. Everybody wants to go to IIT Mumbai CS or Delhi CS for that matter. This is not the case when you move abroad. Whether it's US or it's UK, students follow what their heart says. I'll give you a live example. Vatsal was in India with us. He was preparing for IIT JEE, but he was very clear that I don't want to pursue CS. My heart, my brain is into aerospace itself. Then we carved out a path for him, and we started with his journey with TU Delft. which is one of the top-notch universities for aerospace engineering. So this is how we also guide our students as to what path they should take in order to achieve that particular goal, which is linked to their long-term targets or goals, which should be in line with what they want to do in life, based on their interest, based on their passion. Now, when we talk of why should anybody study abroad, there has to be some reason, right? Why do people go abroad? 5 lakh students go every year. Why? There are certain advantages. I'll touch base upon major 2 or 3 advantages. Otherwise, it will get extended. See, most important is global exposure. The major thing is in India, you will get to know Indian students, your friend circle. You will have limited research opportunities at the bachelor's level or UG level. I can say that. But when you move abroad, we have a lot of opportunity in terms of research, in terms of internships, in terms of universities' infrastructure, in terms of global exposure. A lot of things are there which are not that great in India. They are there. IITs are very good, no doubt. AIMS is still one of the best in the world, right? But beyond that, beyond IIT and NEET, students are not really aware in India. What career options do I have? Or more importantly, what do I want to follow? What do I want to pursue? What is it that I want to do in the long run? These questions are asked when you move abroad. And this is where what we help our students with. Overall, I'll say it will be a kind of holistic development if you move abroad. Yes, in the background, it will always be financials related. You have to have that strong financial backbone and a backup in India, because it is not easy to get into top universities of the world. So we should have an academic backup in any case before we plan for study abroad. Sir.
And I believe that, in fact, Vatsal is the right person who can tell you about the benefits of a global degree. So, Vatsal, I think you have first-hand experience and you can tell us about the actual benefits that you are reaping out there in TU Delft.
Okay, thank you, sir, for asking me this question. And I would like to respond firstly by the global exposure that I get, as sir said. I would like to reiterate that. So you work in a team of internationally and culturally diverse people, and I think that's the biggest experience you can gain there. Like right now, I'm working in a project and I'm working with people with 8 different nationalities. So having all those people from different parts of the world come together and you work together academically to achieve your goal, I don't think like you gain that kind of experience in India.
Yeah.
So what kind of project is it? If not defense related?
Actually, I'm working in my final bachelor's thesis project. So where we have to like actually come up with a new innovative design in a technological perspective, I would say. So it's more related to space communications, where we have to actually design a ground station, which is based on a new kind of innovative technology. So that's also kind of interesting and really challenging and requires a lot of hard work.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Sir, the next thing most probably we would be touching upon is time to start your preparation, because some of the students are here who have already started asking the question, like I'm in 10th grade or I'm in 11th grade and I would like to pursue this particular degree from abroad. When should I start? What is the right time to start my preparation?
See, most important thing is to have a decision being made at students and their parents. And yes, I want to try for study abroad option, apart from having a backup plan in India. Usually students start preparing with us, with anybody, when they enter class 9. This is specifically true if you want to target US, because the US looks after our profile, academics and non-academics combination for the last 3-4 years. So 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, these are the 4 school grades which are important for building a profile. Hence, it is recommended that students start preparing for their profile building, etc. for US when they are in class 9th. Ideally, having said that, practically, if students are not aware, if parents are not aware, students take some late decisions, etc., etc., they can join in class 10th or 11th also. Lastly, but importantly, if in case you are not aware and you are a good student, you have a good financial backup. In fact, you have a kind of backup plan in India also. In that case, you can join in class 12 also, assuming that you have a decent profile to apply to US universities. Because in the end moment, it's not advisable to apply to US because it looks after a lot of things apart from academics. In terms of Europe, it's more academics driven. So if you are good academically, you have maintained 90% plus marks throughout your schooling, and you have clarity of thoughts as in what you want to do in life, move ahead. You can apply to US, to UK in class 12 with a good, strong academic background. This is generally what students follow. If you want to move to UK specifically, you can come to anybody who is helping you in class 11th also. But for US, it is advisable to join as early as possible, as early as class 8th or 9th, so that you set a specific direction. Canada, students are asking, Canada follows US, which means whatever is being asked in US is being followed by Canada in a less structured manner, right? So this is what you can always ask questions in Q&A session and chat, and we'll try and answer all those questions here itself. Yes, sir.
Yes, exactly. Someone has already written, as everyone know, that the bachelor degree to grab a scholarship, you need to be extraordinary for getting into Ivy. But I don't have any extraordinary academic background. How I get into it? And I'm currently in class 12. So Apur sir has already touched upon this particular topic. See, basically, when you are talking about foreign degree, you should be well planned. You cannot do it at the last moment. And especially if you are talking about scholarship and top-notch universities, you should be well planned. You should start your preparation from class 9th onwards, because when it comes to universities, they look for your profile for last 3 years. So you should be well prepared for that. You should have got good profile, especially if we talk about US universities. You should have good profile and at the same time good academics. So I'm sorry, if you are in 12th, I don't think that you have any chance of getting any sort of scholarship. You should have well planned, and now you should prepare for your PG program, and all the best for that. So, sir, the next thing that we are going to touch upon is how to start the journey to study abroad. And most probably this is the question which is linked with the earlier one.
See, after taking the decision of yes, I want to try my luck for study abroad option in this segment, and I'm in class 8th or 9th, 10th for that matter. First, I need to, as a student, I need to talk to my parents. If this is what I want to try, I want to have a backup in India. And assuming that I have a good financial backup as well, then you start with finding out the right mentor who can guide you. See, it's always good to take experts' opinion. See, what happens in India is all of us are experts, all parents are experts, all students are experts. So, but I strictly advise and recommend to take help from somebody who has been into this industry and who has guided students for impartially guided students to reach their target destination. So take help from a lot of people are there, not only Ellen, but a lot of people are there. Take help from somebody who has experienced this domain. Do not assume that you know everything. This thing is very harmful. Students screwing their career by saying that I know everything, I know it all attitude. So take help from someone as early as possible if you are targeting foreign universities. A lot of questions are coming in terms of scholarship, what need to do, what should I do to go to TU DELFT. Don't worry, we'll answer these questions one by one. We want,
yes, exactly.
We want to extract a lot of information from Vatsal himself. Don't worry.
Yeah. And we are picking some of the questions right now.
Yes, yes.
In fact, one question is there are undergraduate courses taught in English? We have heard apart from CS, other courses are in Dutch language only. Is it true, Vatsal?
Yes, sir. Some of the courses are indeed in Dutch, but the core engineering courses such as engineering, aerospace, and I can't remember, like 1 or 2 other courses are also in English. So the university is kind of in a transition phase. So within the next 2 or 3 years, I believe most of the bachelor courses will be taught in English.
Okay, so Europe has started accepting English as their language of instruction.
That is true. In masters, like all the courses are taught in English, and the university is just in the last phase of transitioning, like the bachelor courses.
Okay, so it's a great news, in fact, for Indian students, right?
Yeah, right, sir.
Okay. Now the last question here that we have to address, or the last point that we have to address, is choosing the right university. Well, see, before this particular point, choosing the right university, the question is choosing the right stream. or identifying your own interests, your strengths and weaknesses, then only we can move towards choosing a university or a course. So at AGSD, like for us, it's very important that you should work towards identifying your interest. If I talk about Vatsal was quite sure that he wanted to move into this aerospace. And though we had a couple of discussions with him, his parents, and some other people around him. So like, but ultimately he was sure that he wanted to go into this aerospace. So why am I talking about this particular thing, your interest? Because when we talk about these foreign universities, their search start from this particular point only. Their identification of a student start from this particular point only. So once you understand that you are interested in a specific field, you start making your profile in that particular direction only. Right? So this application process, right now, specifically about talking about US. In US, this application process is quite a kind of psychometric testing, where they would like to see all the things streamlined. Your interests, your strengths, your weaknesses, everything should be streamlined. So when you know your interest, you start following that. And when you start following your interest, you are able to identify specific courses. And then after that, we help you identify some universities for you, specific university, like specific to your interest. And that is the best part of this foreign education. So choosing the right university is a big topic. We'll be touching upon this particular part again when we'll be talking to VATSAL. Sir, I think before moving forward, I should share some of the glimpse of the results that AGSD has already produced.
Yes, sure. So
Right?
the students are aware of what we are doing. See, this is
Yeah,
what
exactly.
whatever we do
Yes.
in the background, the outcome is the front is this thing. Whatever you are going to show.
Yeah. So let's have a look. See, these are the students who are there into MIT. So 33617.
I
These
cannot
are
see the
on
slide.
record.
Yes. Okay.
These are on record. In last 3 to 4 years, we have sent 7 students to MIT. Some students are there who are off record. We cannot mention them out here, but we have sent 7 students to MIT on record. And it is possible because we are working from the scratch. As Apu has said earlier, that we start from 9th standard onward. So when the students, they come at early stage, we are able to develop their profile. We are able to guide them that what should they do and what they shouldn't. What should be added into their academics and what should be added into their non-academics. This Oxford, this year only we have started, means from last year only we have started Oxford. Last year we had 2 into Oxford. This year we have 8 students into Oxford. And in fact, this it's a great achievement. I don't think that any consultancy or any coaching institute in India is there who could have sent 8 students to Oxford at once. Right? And then again, this year only 1 student tried for Cambridge and he got into Cambridge. Then University of Toronto, Canada, and NUS, 2 students, and this UIUC and Harvard and UPenn. This year we have got 2 students into Ivy League. One is our Ishank Agrawal, and another one is Ashwarya. So these 2 students got into Ivy League, UPenn and Harvard. So if you look at the map, we have covered almost all the continents, except you can say Russia is not there. So, and the South Africa is not there. We have covered US, Australia, Netherlands, Singapore, and UK.
Broadly,
So,
from east to west, north to south, all the top-notch universities across the world we have covered. These are just the kind of glimpses. We have a lot of students who have moved to top 100 universities of the world. We cannot mention this right now here because our focus is just to give you a light of what AGSD does, LN Global Studies Division does, and then start focusing on taking input from VATSAL, as in how is it faring there at TU Delft? How good or bad is TU Delft? We can have a kind of frank discussion with VATSAL, but this was just to give you an idea as to what AGSD does. We do from end to end, from preparing till visa. We help our students in everything, right?
yes.
Whether it's your
So now I think,
or it's test, etc., or application or interview mock drills and visa mock drills, essays, recommendation letters, SOPs, personal statements, everything, whatever it takes to get into top universities, we do that. We help our students do that. We help our students, right? We do not write these. Okay.
Yes. I think that this is time when we should ask questions from VATSAL. In fact, people are eager to listen to what VATSAL says, what he speaks. So, sir, can you start with your questions?
A lot of questions for VATSAL from our side, and we'll pick students' questions also in the meanwhile.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The basic question most of the students are asking: how do you find the overall academic environment in Europe, especially in TU Delft, Netherlands, as compared to India?
Okay,
Give us
sir.
a glimpse of that.
Okay, so as I told you, sir, like you study with a large group of internationally diverse people, and that always helps in changing your perspective with the global mindset and everything. Other than that, academically, I would say the coursework that we have is quite challenging, and it's also quite it's also quite research oriented and in updates quite frequently according to the demands of the industry. So we have people coming from the industry, they talk with the professors of the university and everything, and the course material gets updated to like meet the certain expectations that the industry have or like the needs that they want. Other than that, I would say like just from a classroom perspective, there is no peer pressure. Like no one judges you if your friend is doing bad or like he's excelling or everything. Like there's kind of a relaxed learning environment. So the only place where you can like try to motivate yourself if you actually want to learn stuff. And if you don't want to, then like no one would like actually care or like frown upon you. And other than there's also like a chill learning environment in the lecture halls. You can eat and drink and bring your own snacks. You can always have a laugh after a lecture with a lecture after the lecture hall or asking questions. And there is always room for making mistakes. Like you can fail your exams. It's allowed because that's what a university says, that this is an environment where you make mistakes and you should learn from them, because in real life you won't be expected to succeed in everything. So you fail exams, you learn from them, you know what your mistake is, and that university provides I would say a safe environment for you to like go through this kind of process.
This looks interesting. No, it take you in a negative sense that you have failed an exam there?
Actually, I failed a lot of exams, sir.
Okay.
And in fact, some of the exams,
right?
Actually, some of the exams are deliberately made to fail the students.
Okay.
Because in real life, not everything is going to be a piece of custard or everything.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Something which
it means that you are made you are made to fail because you understand the value of failure, and you understand that you won't succeed every time. So yes, you learn how to face the failure, right?
Indeed. And there are certain expectations that they want to learn from you. Like if you want to pass a course, there are certain criteria and expectations which you should meet. If you don't, then like repeat it. But you get the knowledge that they want you to like, they expect you to know.
Okay. In fact, the same kind of thing is there when you apply to some these good universities. They ask about your failures, and if you don't write about your failures, they consider that you are lying.
That is true, sir.
Okay, okay. Vatsal, what makes TU Delft so prestigious? And
I,
what are the positives about TU Delft?
I think one of the positives is like the courses that we have. They are like really academically challenging,
Hmm.
and they are like always research oriented. As I already stated that they are quite research oriented, and they also have like some sort of industry demand that we meet. So whenever I study courses, I do in parallel projects which have like some practical application to it, and they always find some kind of new innovative solutions which can be further utilized in the industry. So we study both theoretical courses and we like learn to apply them as well with projects. Other than that, I would say that again for the exams, I cannot cram through like it. Like I cannot decide, okay, 2 days ago I'll just cram everything hard and like try to pass the exam. No,
Hmm.
I'm expected to learn all the material they give me and then like use it. And lastly, like we use a lot of technology for everything. I can say like in the last year, like I just used one copy of notebook maximum of like 80 pages. I think the rest of the stuff we all do with software and technology.
Okay, so after your UG, you are also planning to complete your PG from the same university, right?
Right.
Okay, and what will you be doing there in your PG?
Actually, I will still continue studying my master's in aerospace, and this time I have deciding to do. So in masters, you get an opportunity to specialize what you actually want to do in aerospace, because aerospace is still quite a diverse field. You have your
Mhm.
space as in astronautics, you have your aircraft in aeronautics. Besides
Mhm.
that, you also study the aerodynamics related to the field, and there are also structures, all those structures which you should, should support the weight and everything. So at this point, I decided, okay, my passion always was space, and I'm gonna continue studying more about space flight.
Okay, great. And
But sir, tell me one thing.
Yes, sir.
Asking, what did you do, or what was the process that you followed to get into TU Delft? Did you give SAT? What kind of exams did you give? What has been your academic background? Were you brilliant
Okay,
in school time? What kind of extracurriculars you have done, etc. So, in short, what did you do to reach TU Delft there, and why aerospace? Why,
okay,
and why not any other?
okay, okay, sir. So actually, I did give all the SATs and everything because I was also preparing for admission in US. But I'll stick my answer specifically to the admission process for TU Delft. So for TU Delft, the process is quite simple to get in. Like you take some entrance tests, which are three of them. One of them is math, one of them is physics, and the other one is some introduction to aerospace material. So when you like start your application, the university sends you some videos and material that you need to go through. You prepare for them, and then like based on that, you take the test. So they prepare a ranking out of it, and from that, I think like the top 400 people are selected. Other than that, they also ask some psychologically based tests just to see if you're like mentally motivated enough for the program. And they also ask for like for one or two motivation letters. And after that, I think like based on the rankings and a combination of all these tests, they accept you in.
Okay.
okay, uh,
Often change their majors after they reach TU Delft. Is it recommended?
Actually, sir, that's one of the negative things I would like to point out about you, that it's a bit stringent for internationals, that it does not allow you to change majors once you get in. I think it's mainly because one of the Dutch laws, which states that in the first year, you have to get the required amount of credit. So I'll get to that later, what a credit means, but it just to simplify, it means you have to study this much amount so that they allow you to continue your studies. And I think that's why, as for internationals, they are a bit like not flexible in allowing you to change your major, or at least it's not recommended.
okay. This question is a bit personal, Vatsal.
Sure, sir.
You seem to be in love with Dutch culture and people now. So
Yeah.
how you dealt with homesickness and cultural shock?
Okay. That is interesting. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, like there's going to be homesickness because you're gonna study away, you're not gonna see your friends or your family for a long time. So there is no denying that you're going to be homesick for a while, but there are certain ways you can like tackle it, you know. You always like talk to people, make some Indian friends, talk in Hindi, and then, you know, do all the stuff that like you do in India. And we have a Indian Student Association here, which organizes cultural and, you know, all the festivities which you celebrate in India. For example, Deepavali and Holi. So we also have those celebrations here. It's not that you're going to miss that out. And I daily talk to my parents. Like there's no denying, like I miss them, so I daily talk to them, and that helps quite a lot actually. And besides that, I also cook Indian food sometimes.
Okay. Okay. And what about cultural shocks there? Initially, you
Okay,
must
so
have some.
okay, so the cultural shocks, the whole country, like Netherlands, is cycle obsessive. Like they love to cycle. You see people from every range, like people in the 80s, people like less than 10, they daily cycle like 12 to 15 kilometers to do their groceries, even if it's raining or snowing, no matter what, weather related. They're going to cycle to their workplace and they reach there on time.
Great.
So, based on another point, punctuality is also quite a big thing here. Everyone here is on time and they expect you to be on time as well. If you're 2 minutes late, they found you'll get a treatment of like received eyebrows.
Okay, one question from attendees.
Sure.
VATSAL, aerospace engineering bachelor degree fee and course duration.
I
What's
think
the fee and what's the course duration?
I think the fees is like for internationals it's definitely higher. Like I think it's around like around 14,000 euros per year. That's just the tuition fees. I'm not talking about the living expenses. And the duration is 3 years. So I'm actually in my third and final year. I plan to finish on time. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Apur sir,
All right.
your question.
Okay. I always have a lot of questions. I mean, I was just whether he's finished his question or not. Okay. Tell me, Vatsal, something about internships and such kind of opportunities there in TU Delft. What as a student, see, generally what happens in India as an engineer, officially we do that in third year end before we start our official internship jo hoti hai. And students do that in second year ending also. So what kind of internship opportunities are there in TU Delft? And if at all, did you do some internship? Where, if at all?
Okay, so here's the thing, like that's how like academically we differ from studies like in India, because the concept of internships like during their studies, it doesn't happen in your bachelor's. So either you finish your bachelor's, you by that time like you kind of know like which companies you're gonna target and everything, and you apply for internships there. But the sole purpose of doing internships here is that like you actually want to work in that company. So you do internship to gain like knowledge and like introduced to how the internal workings, everything's there. Most people like here, like they do the internships when they actually go to their master studies, and there you spend like 4 months working like with the company you like and related to your major, and before you finish your degree with like doing a master thesis. So that's how like the concept slightly differs from that in India.
And aligned question is, what about the job market scene? See, students and their parents are always asking, sir, job lagi lagi. So me and Sachin sir always have this kind of answer to this question that depend on whether you as a student utilize that opportunity. 4 साल वहां अच्छे से पढ़ते हो या 3 साल, तभी job opportunities अच्छी होती है. अगर नहीं पढ़ोगे तो वो भी नहीं होगा. This is how we students.
Sir,
What is your take on this? How is
ताकि
that situation in TU Delft? Placement status, placement scenario in general, and aerospace in specific.
Okay. So I'm going to like go through it like one by one. First thing is like placement. So यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा culturally चीज है कि like people don't know what a placement is. Like
Okay.
the concept of employment is slightly different when it comes to हम अगर इंडिया से compare करें तो यहाँ पे like companies don't come to the campus and they recruit you and then like, oh, please come work for us, and then you make a deal, I got a package and everything. It's not like that. It's just that you as a student, like while working, you already know, because you already start with working and interacting with companies while you're in your thesis or whatever, or like whatever projects you're doing. So already kind of idea you have is like which company is gonna work with, especially if you want to keep working in aerospace. So they don't come to you, you actually go to them, you apply to them, you go for internships, you do them, and then you actually kind of feel, okay, this is good enough for me, the working environment is good, whether what I want is like giving in this company. Obviously, in that case, like the package or like the salaries is a factor, but it's not a major contributing factor here. Like obviously, and employment wise, I think in especially in aerospace faculty, I think everyone gets employed. Like that's for sure. World is in need of engineers, and 40% I think still keep working in the aerospace sector. The rest, they actually continue their higher studies, or they actually do a PhD, or they start their own company, you know.
Okay. So in as a
So
thought,
I couldn't give you answer like
generally
salary
placed.
wise. I cannot give you answer salary wise, because like that's not nothing we discuss. The only thing we discuss is like, okay, how you're gonna save your taxes.
Okay. So basically, idea of placement is a bit different from that of India. Like here in India, companies, they come into the campus and they select some of the candidates and take with them, right? Whereas there in like Dutch countries or Netherlands, it is that you go to the companies, you just try to find out the best fit for you, which company fits you the best, right? And suits you the best, and that is how you start working.
Yeah, you do internships there, and like you kind of find out, okay, whether it is good enough for me or not. And if it is, then you already have done the networking and everything. You got into the system, and then you start working.
Great, quite
so
interesting.
It's also kind of helpful to know like what you actually like want to work in, and what you're working at, what you'll get after that.
Okay, a more personal question from students is, how good is aerospace program from TU Delft? How good is it in terms of
okay, I'm going to defend it.
It's fantastic. I do know that, but you can probably provide some insights for half a minute. What kind of structure is there in your course? What do you do?
Okay, so I can divide. I can summarize my whole study for 3 years. So the first year we basically do all the basic engineering disciplines, like we learn more higher maths and everything, and some basic aerospace disciplines. We also have projects, so we got to build like our own like small mini paper aircraft. We designed a mission to Mars. We also in project 5 built a wing box, you know, a wooden wing box, and we actually got to test it in the lab and crush it to see how far it like resists strength. So I think that's a kind of practical knowledge which is like really cool to know when you actually see it. I think in second year we had like more higher and complex math and physics courses, and some more theoretical courses specified to like which got like more space specific, you know. We studied aerodynamics and everything. And in the end of my second year, like I also had a project where we actually got to test a wing inside a wind tunnel. So like that's a cool thing that our university has 4 wind tunnels, and we got to use like the low speed wind tunnel where we actually tested the flow and whether like a wing was aerodynamically good enough. Besides that, I also worked in projects where we actually had to design a space mission to go to an asteroid. So from scratch, how you design a mission to like come up with the different subsystems inside that space mission and you integrate them together. That was also quite great. And after that, there is also like I had a project where we had to do quite a lot of data analysis, you know. So data analysis in terms of just helping a PhD student complete her doctorate. So we became assistants for her and did some data analysis processing tasks for her. After that, I think the third year is like the most interesting because our university also owns its own airplanes. So we actually had the opportunity, which I had like 1 month ago, to go on a flight where they did all these maneuvers, and you actually wrote down data to find out what you learned from the classroom was true or not. And besides that, our university, our faculty also has its own flight simulator. It is called Simona, so it can replicate most of the commercial airplanes, and a lot of people actually do some of the researches and utilize it. So because of all of that, I can say like it is one of the best aerospace schools in the world.
Great, great. Sir, Apur sir, one question from you. Someone asked, Ishan Gupta, if criteria of versatile profile meet their expectation partially, but meet academic criteria consequently less or no scholarship, is admission without scholarship possible?
Where? I mean, US, UK, Singapore, where?
Anywhere.
Admission
kind
without
of a
scholarship. Yes,
question.
it's admission without scholarship, right? There are two parts of any application. You apply, you get into it, and then apply for scholarships. Scholarship will have a different criteria altogether, right? You can get into any good university without scholarship also, because getting a scholarship is a kind of rare achievement. You have to be exceptional, not necessarily in academics, but otherwise also. You have to be unique. You have to prove that you are unique to the university, and if they find you suitable for that kind of university, they might take you in with scholarship also. For example, 8 of our students got into Oxford this time. Oxford is very expensive, UK. But only out of those 8, only 1 has been given full scholarship. That means whoever that student has received a scholarship, he has kind of shown better than other students in terms of application to scholarships. So getting a full scholarship or free ride, we call in our parlance, it's very difficult. But yes, if you want to try abroad, have that financial backup ready. Have an academic backup ready, as in what will you do in India if you do not get placed in some good universities abroad. Have that thing ready as a backup plan, as a logical consequence. And if you get into scholarship, fair enough. I'm not sure TU DELFT provides scholarships to students, VATSAL?
Actually, no, sir, in the bachelor's level for internationals.
Okay, for master's level, not at the bachelor's level.
Talking about scholarship is kind of luxury. If you are getting scholarship, that's fine. And some of the universities in US, they are basically need blind. So means if you get into MIT, it doesn't matter whether you are capable of paying the fee of MIT or not, but whatever the need is there, they'll be fulfilling all of your needs, So if you get into MIT, you are going to get a scholarship, right? It's always there. And there are certain universities, so like there are 2 kind of scholarship in US, need based and need blind. So you can Google about these things, or you can connect with us at later stage and we can discuss in detail about them. Right? So, sir, next question with VATSAL.
Sure, sir.
Most probably I have one question. As I know that he is an avid traveler. So what places have you traveled there in Europe, and what are your experiences?
Okay, sir. Like I actually love I love traveling quite a lot, and due to COVID, I couldn't travel for the last 1 or 2 years. But I still managed to visit a lot of countries in Europe, because I can with my RP, I can visit Schengen areas freely. So I visited the Canaries in Spain. I visited Belgium. I visited Morocco. I've also been to Austria. There's a tiny country called Liechtenstein. I've also touched that. I've been to Finland, and I've also been to Germany.
Great.
And yet more to come.
Yeah, well, there are certain questions related to profile. Some of the attendees are asking that best extracurricular activities for profile and how to build profile. What are the best thing to do to get into MIT? Well, see, these are some specific questions. If I talk about profile building is not a generic thing. So first we need to assess the complete strengths, weaknesses, and the complete personality of an individual and the current profile. After that only we can suggest certain activities. There's no particular activity that everyone can carry out. It's just like that you cannot suggest Sachin Tendulkar to sing the songs of Lata Mangeshkar and then get a singing award. Both are different. So in the same way, when we talk about profile building, it is very specific. And remember, if you follow some specific path, you are definitely on wrong path. Universities are looking for unique profile. So it is very, very important to understand one's personality and then move forward, right? You can find out a lot of things on Google. You can find out a lot of things from your friends, colleagues, relatives. They would be telling you, do this, do that, and you'll get into MIT, or that boy did that girl did that and got into Cornell, got into MIT, got into UPenn, and you just do that and you'll be
let's copy that and get into MIT.
Yeah. And if you are doing that, sure you are doing something very, very wrong, very, very incorrect. Don't ever do that to get into these top universities. The only thing that you can do, just to identify what you are, explore yourself, your own strengths, weaknesses, and then only you can take up some activities to strengthen your profile. Because when we talk about these foreign universities, they do not have this selection or rejection criteria. Rather, they have the criteria of best fit. They would like to see who fits the best. That's the thing, right? Okay, so I think that we have answered almost all these basic questions. When it comes to specific questions, you need to connect with us, because all the specific questions cannot be answered right now here. We can reply only the general questions which really are important to almost all the people. Yes, sir. Your next question.
Yes. Can you, Vatsal, can you give us an idea of if a student wants to take a transfer from European university to US university? Is it advisable? Do the students do that? What is your view on this?
Okay, sir. So if you want to transfer from European universities to US, so the process of admission is quite the same. You still have to take if you want to go for PG, you still have to take the GRE, take IELTS, do all those applications with the university as you would also do in India. But however, you do get an edge when you're applying, because you're applying from a reputed university. So I think the intake rates are super high when people migrate from here to US.
Although
most of the people they apply to, they get in what they want.
Correct. TU DELFT joins TU DELFT, he or she will not move to any university because he or she has taken a wise decision. I want to move to TU DELFT for a specific reason. So students not take a transfer from TU DELFT to some other university, usually, unless the situation demands so. Unless. Yeah. Okay. Lot of students are asking the question of,
Yeah, yes, because again, this question is from VATSAL. Can we get job? Again, it's from attendee. Can we get job on campus? Is there a limit on number of hours we can work per week? Also, are there scholarship that can fully fund undergrad education? See, basically, when we talk about countries, so there are different countries, different universities, and they all have different rules, right? So these things vary as per the countries. But right now, we can talk about TU DELFT, right? So Vatsal is going to tell you about TU DELFT.
So I see 3 different questions here. I'm going to talk about them. Yes, you can work in the campus. You can work as a teaching assistant for different courses. You can work as an assistant to a professor who's doing his research. You can work as a building staff or whatever to assist the different infrastructure that we have. And you get paid for that. So it's around 12 euros per hour for that, minus the taxes.
Okay.
So that's still quite a good number. Outside of campus, you can also work. However, there's a limitation on how much you can work. So it's you can have work for a maximum of 16 hours per week. And if you want to work full time, you can only do it for 2 months, and that's in the months which we have summer holidays, which is July and August. So there are opportunities for that. I worked as a TA for one of the courses I excelled in. It's always great.
Okay, but working part-time or for 2 months cannot compensate for your full tuition fees, etc., right? It cannot.
No, actually it cannot.
Right? You cannot. So our focus as a student should be to study there and not start earning as a sole means
Yeah.
of livelihood there.
I think the goal of like
Agenda.
the partial study is to like it actually helps in reducing your personal expenses, like the stuff that you do after the besides the university tuition. It does help in like reducing that.
Okay, what
Sir,
tell us? You have already told about academic system, etc., etc. Aerospace is very good. TU DELFT is very good. How about accommodation and food?
Okay, so accommodation and food, that's like one of the negative things I'm going to talk about to you, because Delft is actually quite a small city, and due to the influx of the students, we have a bit of like a housing crisis here. So you need to be super prepared, like once you get in, to look for your accommodation as quick as you can, because it can be a bit hard to like find that. I was a bit lucky with that, so I got like a really good place. So you need to be wary of the accommodations once you get in. The second thing is about food. So that's a general advice for anyone like who's going to study in Europe. So you don't live like in a campus where they like serve you food in like the canteens or whatever. You actually live in student houses, and there you have to cook your own food. So that's like quite a great tip I'll give you, that if you get accepted and if you migrate to Europe, then better prepare like by learning to cook at home and like doing basic all the chores and stuff.
great. Sir, Apur sir, there's a question from a student. Like you have talked about technical degrees and everything. Why don't you talk about medical? What about medical courses from US or UK or Canada? And how to get into
Right
them?
now, see, it's a good question. In fact, somebody has asked about MD or MBBS from US, etc.
Yeah.
I have just asked that student to call our office because the question is very long to answer. The fundamental MBBS, अगर doctor बनना है तो MBBS in India is the best. The best.
Yes.
Right. And if you want to move ahead, US में there is no kind of MBBS. It's all bachelors in biology and biological sciences, and then masters level पर जाके doctoral degree होती है वहाँ पर. ठीक है. यूरोप में UK option that is good, that is equivalent to MBBS, 5 years MBBS. That's a good option. But then in that case, you will have to give matter UCAT examination, and Canada is allied with US. So a lot of things are there for medicine. It's better to talk to us separately on this because our focus right now is TU DELFT. I mean TU DELFT in Europe. Right.
Yeah.
So yes, we always give a brief talk about MBBS or medicine degree from abroad, etc. We can have a separate session, or students can call us. Harsh sir can always share our numbers with this PPT. I think in the last slide we can add your contact number right away, so that students can note down that contact number and call us, and they can have discussion on any topic on any stream. Somebody is asking about law degrees from abroad, and MBBS, law, any career stream that you want to talk about, you can talk to us on our phone, and let's discuss offline outside this thing. Anything specific to you that you have right now, we can always ask Vatsal with us for the next few minutes. Then he's gone.
Yeah. I think we have answered almost all the general questions. Those were there. And this is a time to bind up, right, sir?
Probably last one or two questions.
Two more questions. Yeah.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, please. Sir.
Okay. See, a lot of students are getting interested in Europe per se. So what message do you have to give to aspirants who want to do their UG studies from Europe or Netherlands? What suggestion, what recommendations you have to those?
Okay. So the first thing is like you should be really sure like what you want to major in. Like you should be really passionate about it, and you should like have an idea like what you're going to expect from the study and everything. Secondly, you should be willing to put in like the required number of hours and the hard work that I'm guessing all of you guys do right now. So it's going to continue, and it's actually going to help you in like more enjoying what stream that you want to study. And the third practical tip was again, learn to cook if you want to come here. because it's actually a great deal, because it helps you save your money, it helps you save your time. If you like go out and do it, but you take a break and then you cook, so it actually also helps us in as a stress reliever. So it is kind of a great deal to learn to cook. That's what I would recommend as a practical tip. And just like love what you do or you study.
Correct. Okay. I think most of the questions we have tried answering, which were within the purview of TU Delft to Europe. There are certain questions which are still unanswered. I'll recommend the students or parents to call us in office so that all their queries are answered, right? And bachelor's or master's, law or medicine, any stream you can talk about on phone with our experts. Not an issue with that. Sir, last question you can pose before we.
Sure, you can go ahead with that last
okay,
question.
because I always have a number of questions. Okay, but, tell us. You are in TU Delft doing good there. You have failed examinations there and then passed the game. You are enjoying your stint there in third.
Right, sir.
First, how did you score in class 10th and 12th? How much did you score there? पहला तो question ये है. Students wanted to ask. So वत्सल कितना अच्छा बच्चा है पढ़ने?
10th में sir, like let me remember it. I think 10th. I think yeah. For 10th, no, just kidding. For 10th, I had a 10 CGPA, and for 12th, I did my boards and I got like 91% in it.
90?
Okay.
91.
91.
Good. 91. Okay. That is CBSE, right?
Yeah,
okay.
CBSE boards.
Fine. Okay. Second is a more kind of personal kind of question to you directly.
Sure, sir.
But what has been the role of AGSD in your story, in your journey so far?
It's been quite simple, sir. I'm here because of you guys. Like whatever you like taught me and prepared me, it has all been like the input feedback. Sachin sir and Apu sir helped me find TU Delft based on my profile and everything, and I'm always grateful to them for that. So
okay, apart from being here in Kota, like when you went there in TU Delft, did it happen anytime like you needed the help from AGSD and the people help you there also?
Yes. Definitely I needed help like with some of the stuff, because TU Delft also has like exchange program where you can go to another university, and for selecting that university in US, I contacted Apu sir and Sachin sir, and they helped me a lot and came up with a choice on which one to apply for.
Okay.
Yes, I remember doing that in the night. Yes.
If you remember, sir, you helped me a lot with that.
Fine. It happened like you were struggling with some courses, right? And
yes,
I remember like we had some discussion like how to clear them and all that.
The pros and cons table, that always helps.
Yes. Okay. Sir, ये हम कुछ अपने मुंह से ज्यादा तारीफ कर रहे हैं. Let's leave it here.
Such.
Okay, but one thing like before closing it, I'd like to tell to all the attendees, like when you plan your education abroad, you should be well planned. Actually, you shouldn't make it the point of prestige, because I have seen people, they come to us and they say that sir, I just want to go to MIT, I just want to go to Harvard, Princeton. At any cost, whatever the efforts I need to put, I'll do this or that. Never ever do that. These are the universities who are not looking for such kind of profile. So you should be very clear about what do you want to do in your life. Path and means can be anything. So it is very, very important. You should be clear what you would like to do in your future. Then you should check which particular university or course comes in the way. That's how you should proceed, right? And if you have any confusion, you can connect with us anytime. We are available almost 24/7, especially for our students, those who are enrolled. And you can connect us between 9 to 6 or 7 p.m. There you can see our helpline number and website. Just visit it and connect with us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you, Vatsal, for joining us.
Thank you, sir. It's always been a pleasure, sir. Thanks a lot.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.